Alright, today we're going to start with a little bit of an experiment because we are going to be building our storage system here in this massive hole that we made in the last video where we blew up a double chest of TNT all at once, here in this hole, and this was the result. But we're going to be building our storage system here, which is going to require a bit of redstone, and this is the main storage silo that we're going to rely on. Now, I want to use chest minecarts because these don't often get used, even in the modern game, let alone in beta Minecraft. These don't often get used, I feel, enough for their storage capabilities, so I wanted to make a storage system that utilizes them in a fun and effective way. So if we press this button, we're going to drop this minecart off, and we're actually going to drop another one, and we might as well drop a third one, and they're all going to stack up just like this on top of each other. Now, the experiment is basically whether or not these chest minecarts, when this area is loaded and unloaded, whether they're going to fall through the ground and, fall into each other and whatever like that, cause issues, because in beta Minecraft, at the best of times, minecarts and storage minecarts don't function too well, especially on servers. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting test. Now, the way this works is basically we're going to have a system that allows our chest minecarts here that are going to be full to land on the piston arm, and when this gets powered and unpowered, it's going to push a chest minecart out and down and send it back to where we want it to be. Now, this is another part that I want to experiment with because inevitably there's going to be chest minecarts that are going to get stuck in the arm of the piston here. So if we remove this real quick, this is generally right here what the system is going to look like. So if I put another chest minecart on top, you'll see that it functions pretty much fine. Like there's no issues here. It's just sitting there in the middle, but potentially once the area is loaded, unloaded, it's going to drop through this here. But this does still functionally work. If we turn that off and on, it'll push out and still work as per usual. So I've loaded up a couple more in here, and we're just going to leave this be, and we're just going to see as we load and unload this area how this goes, because yeah, you can see them moving around. I feel like the likelihood of them dropping down and ending up here is pretty high, or just straight up disappearing is pretty high, which would be a huge problem if we had, stacks of valuable resources inside them, and we don't want any of those getting deleted. So yeah, we'll see how that goes as we start building our storage system in this space here. Alright, now this here was my previous storage system, and as you can see, it has no redstone functionality whatsoever. There's chests everywhere, which honestly, it worked really well. This was a great storage system. You could walk pretty quickly to everywhere you needed to be, and there was plenty of storage in all the chests. But I want to bring this a bit closer, I want to have all the chests a little bit closer. I want it to be a little more compact, which is why I want to introduce the chest minecart functionality to the storage room, and I want to actually change the layout of the storage room. Now, the best benefit of this one is, first of all, there's clearly plenty of storage, and you can very clearly see what what items are in which chests, and I want to maintain that for this coming up storage room, but I want to also, compact it a bit, make it a bit more, user friendly, and, a little less, just chests everywhere, basically. Alright, so the first thing that I kind of want to do is lay out some kind of a foundation of like a walkway, and I'm just going to do this out of glass because obviously we're in a snow biome and there's snow going to be falling everywhere. I don't want there really to be snow all over my storage system, so I'm probably going to be building it out of slabs and glass and things like that, so that it's resistant to the snow. And wait, am I in the center here? I feel like I'm going crazy right now. Yeah, that's the center. Okay, we're gonna lay out some glass pathways, and yeah, we're gonna see how it's looking with these all in place. Oop, and it looks like we got a slime down there, which means we've got a slime chunk. That's pretty good. Alright, so this is the storage system. This is what the, I guess the outline of the storage system is going to look like. I've just kind of thrown together this cobblestone just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. This will obviously go. But yeah, it's way more compact, as you can see. We've only got 4 chests sort of per line, and I'd say it's probably about 2 times smaller than the previous one. I mean, it takes no time at all to walk from end to end. So yeah, hopefully the chest minecarts really pull through in the functionality that I'm hoping to have. Now here's an example. This wall, I've actually kind of done it, decorated it in the way that it's kind of going to end up looking. Here's an example of what the system is going to look like. So you're going to have a sign sort of indicating what it is, a block at the back indicating, what's behind, in the chests, I mean. And yeah, you're going to have, these chests here that you can look into. Now, these buttons here are going to recall from the, from the stack, chest minecarts, and they're going to come over the top and land down here. You press those buttons and it's going to come over the top and land. This is going to be to open a spot for them to fall down, and then this is going to be to send those ones off. So that doesn't really make too much sense now, but if we walk over to here, as you can see, I've increased our experiment to sort of show you exactly what I have in mind. Now, it's actually quite a bit bulkier than I expected it to be, which shouldn't be a problem. It's going to fit into the footprint of here, maybe have to extend a little bit further out on either side, which might actually end up looking kind of cool. Maybe it'll look like it's, supporting up this main structure in the middle, but who knows, this is what happens when you don't plan things, what do I say, building off the dome, okay? That's what I like to do. And our experiment here, earlier, I had to reset it. Basically, these minecarts stayed in the right spot, but this one dropped down and continued on, the one that was inside the piston head. So I've reset the experiment, and yeah, we'll see if it recreates those results. So far, so good, though. All right, let's actually have a look at this thing. So this is what I was showing you before. There would be a sign here, and this is what it will look like. So imagine that there's like another one of these, right here. There's a chest here, because this would work for, every second. So every second system would have this kind of system, if that makes sense. So pretty much, I want to recall a cobblestone. Imagine there's a cobblestone chest. I'd press this button, and you'll see that a minecart will then come out over the top here. Boop. There it goes, and it lands on that red spot. Now, you'd probably want to have this open. You flick this lever, and it drops down to here. Now, this is where you would deposit some bulk cobblestone storage, or, maybe transfer some to this chest. And then once you're done, you press this button, and if it goes, drops back into the main storage, which is a pretty cool little system, I would say. So every single one of those chests would basically have a special button that would allow a minecart to come here. So let me show you what's happening here. So basically, when I press this button, there's a repeater coming out of the cobblestone block there that is sending a redstone line down here, and then that repeater is picking it up, bringing it down to this piston, which is retracting and then pushing forward, and then the minecart then takes the track all the way up and over. So yeah, pretty simple system. And then this is even simpler. When we flick this lever, that torch goes off, turns off, opens that piston, and then yeah, this drops in. And then the last thing is when we press this button, this repeater comes out, there's a redstone line, and then it activates that block, which activates that rail right there, which is pretty handy. So that's the basic system, and I think it's going to work pretty well, and I think it'll be pretty cool to have just this cycling, ability to cycle the minecarts, which is pretty cool. Okay, now the thought is, if this rail line has to get too long, this rail line right here is basically, it'll be as long as this is deep. So however much storage we want, this railway will have to come out further and further. And yeah, if that's a problem in terms of like the terrain, or, I'm not liking the way it's looking, we can use a system like this. So if I put a minecart here and we shoot it down, the idea is basically if, we take out all that line there, and if we push the minecart out, it'll drop into a track that would, be a centralized track, and it would all lead basically to the same place. So if I drop this out, it would shoot along there, and that would basically happen on every single one of these, storage units. Problem with that is when I bring it to the top, it's going to be, I'd have to move the minecarts every single time. Maybe I only need a few items or whatever, and I'd have to reset it every time, which would be a bit annoying. So I don't really want to do that. I think I prefer this look here, and I think we can make it look cool with the block choice and stuff. Make it actually look like it's supporting on the on the terrain around it, which I think might end up being pretty cool. So I think we're going to go with this design, and yeah, we're going to hope that this works. If this doesn't work, we might have to tear it out and come up with a different solution. But yeah, I guess this is the plan for now, and I think I'm going to start building this, building this in. I'll have to actually make a design for the storage room, but I hope that gives you a pretty good idea of, how the system works, and, why I think it's going to be a good way to do this, to hopefully make it a bit more of a compact system, at least from when you're standing up here. It feels really compact. It's only one chest, or, 1.5 chests. Well, I guess 3 chests, a double chest and a single chest that you ever have to interact with at once. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Alright, but for now, I guess this is how I'm going to have to leave it, because we've got the 3-year anniversary of the Betamore / Back to Beta server coming up. So yeah, that's going to be a live stream on my channel. So if you want to check that out, it'll have happened by the time this video is out. Check it out in my live streams tab. I'm sure we had a great time. So yeah. And eventually, after the live stream on the actual anniversary of the server, Aloki and I went out and made a little quick trip back to Season 1 and put a candle on the cake, because each year of the server we've added a little candle to the cake, at spawn to commemorate the age of the server. So yeah, we just did that. Went through the Nether, popped in, popped out. It was just a quick little trip. Alright, but here we are many hours later, and the storage system is now fully operational, and all the segments are in and everything, and it's looking really cool, I would say. I think it just, yeah, I love the exposed redstone vibe that this comes off with, and yeah, I think I've decided I want to clear out the all the extra debris in here, at least some of it, that's go close by, because when you look down, you can't really tell that there's a massive hole down there, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, let's have a look at this storage system right now and how it's working. I am not fully sold on the design yet. I think I'll still, make some changes and things, potentially add a roof, I'm not too sure. But this is how it's looking right now. We've got these, floating blocks to indicate, exactly what is where, and then also the blocks behind, the chests here to indicate as well. So it's pretty obvious. The general layout is similar to what I had in Season 1, where, the items that you kind of have a lot of, the bulk items here, are sort of in this corner. This corner has more building supplies, wool, glass, obsidian, that sort of stuff. This has sort of valuables, where it's got like, the valuable stuff here. Redstone is a big one, mob drops and things here. And then this is more like natural items like wood and leaves and flowers and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good system. There are double ups. So if I come over to sugarcane, for example, it's going to have sugarcane and cactus. So there's definitely double ups in here. But that's, pretty easy for me to remember. Right now, this is like yellow wool, and this is just plain smooth stone, but I might change that to be like furnaces and stuff, because something I found really useful in the previous storage room was that we had furnaces in the floor. I use them all the time. So yeah, that'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, I might change, this to be this as well. So we've got kind of the three double ups, I guess, of all the items, so you know exactly what's going on. But yeah, let's make our way down. I can't tell you how many times I've fallen off this while I was building. A fair few times. But yeah, the system is pretty much the same as what we had in our experiment over there, which I've torn down now. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. I've been using smooth stone for all of the redstone. I feel like I kind of want to try and be uniform with all my redstone and put it all on smooth stone slabs, or the crash slabs. But yeah, we'll see. Lucky Snesmes has a shop, and I've been buying all of the smooth stone from his shop, and then I've also been buying all of the powered rails from Gradiology's shop as well. So I've been probably the #1 spender on the server of diamonds. But here we are down the bottom. As you can see, we've already started piling some up. This is the cobblestone chest, obviously. And with our test earlier, we did have a few random cases where the minecart would fall all the way through and go up to the top, or even that they would stack on top of each other. You can see them moving around. It's really not stable, but as far as I can tell, I never lost any chests or anything like that. So this is going to be a big test, you know. We're going to see how it goes, and yeah, I'm just going to have faith in it. If it doesn't work, you know, we can always adjust, but I'm going to have faith in it for now and see how it goes. But yeah, as you can see, there's so much redstone gone into this. It's all the same, you know, same stuff. It's nothing, you know, nothing different to what I showed earlier. It's just a lot of it. So yeah, and as I was building, I thought it was pretty cool because I had two sort of layers to work with. I had this layer up here and then this layer down here. I kind of like the idea of being able to access these layers and then, you know, be able to look down here or whatever. But I don't know. For now, I think I'll probably remove all the dirt, but I just wanted to show you what it looked like down here before I did that. Alright, but that is the storage system at the moment, and you can see that there's still some dirt, you know, floating in the air here that I haven't had enough resources to collect on them. But yeah, now begins the grueling task of transferring almost all of my resources from the spawn house to this area, and I do have a whole bunch of chest minecarts on me to hopefully make this job a little easier, but I'll probably... I don't know if I'll transfer all my items, but probably majority of them. It's always good to have a sort of base of operations at spawn that you can, you you have supplies at that you can kind of pull from. But yeah, I will say let's do a little quick showcase. You know, we've got this working. Let's take it for a test ride, shall we? Oh, okay, it broke straight away. That's hilarious. I guess I can't press that button and pull this lever at the same time. But there we go. We got our chest come in. It's all full, and then we can send it away. Very cool. Alright, so here we are quite a while later. I've gone through and I've done the monotonous task of bringing a whole bunch of resources from our previous base over to here. So now we're starting to look pretty healthy in our, you know, chest supply here. We've got a lot going on here, which is fantastic. Now, we don't have a whole lot of chests down here. I think we have 3 cobblestone chests down there and then 1 dirt chest there, but it's still very early in the season to be thinking we're going to have a lot of storage. This is going to continue to pile up as things go along, you know, with the walls and stuff. Yeah, last time I had so much of everything, basically. So, yeah, and I kind of want to make it like a personal rule that if the storage silo gets filled, we have to build with that item and like deplete the storage silo somehow or something like that. I think that would be quite interesting if we did that. But you'll also notice that I made some adjustments to the build. First of all, we got rid of all the extra dirt. It all looks you know, nice and fulfilled now. And I also replaced the lapis blocks with iron blocks. I just felt like the lapis was maybe a bit dark and then just a bit too much, like, you know, extra colors and stuff going on. And then I also added oak here and some crafting tables to lighten it up a bit because I felt like it was just a bit too dark. But what I did do was also put in some furnaces here, like I said I would, and I think this makes it look way cooler, with like the dark up here and then the dark down here makes it look really cool with the light in the middle. I think that just works really well. And then yeah, obviously we came through and added all the different blocks in here. I pistoned up some more redstone ore. I've got some in the walls here and some on the floor here and then one represented there. So yeah, it's pretty cool at the moment. I think it's coming along really nicely. I also did just want to mention that there's some invisible stairs right here. Some people might not know what these are, that are holding up these gravity blocks here. And I also made use of them down here. What am I doing? If I open this up, for example, there's one right here in front. Like you can see I'm punching, you can see the cobblestone coming off. And yeah, that just stops the gravel from falling down into the hole there. But the minecart can still push through it, which actually I might as well demonstrate. I don't have a minecart down there, I just realized. Never mind. But for those of you who don't know, it's a very easy thing to do. You just place a stair in a place like this, and then you put a redstone torch down, and it pushes out into an invisible stair, and you can put sand on top of it. Entities can go through it, but yeah, it just floats there. My big issue right now is how to go about sleeping or like finding a space for a bed in the middle of all this, because in my previous storage system I would have a bed in the center and that was quite convenient, but maybe I should just find a way to have a bed like floating up here or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do above here just yet, but it's a good idea. I also came over here and I brought over this pink wool. Now this pink wool, if we split it up like this is how this is all the pink wool that I've collected from pink sheep that have spawned in the area since I've been here. So there was 3 pink sheep that have spawned, and yeah, they each gave me this amount of wool. So it's kind of cool. I don't know what to do with it, but maybe we should immortalize it in the base, you know, as a sign of good luck, you know. Alright, but you guys are going to have to let me know in the comments what you think of that, and of the base as well, the storage room so far. What do you think of it? Do you like the lapis, or do you like the iron blocks? And yeah, what do you think of the functionality? Because yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out, but I'm very curious to see what you guys think. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I have a lot of ideas for this area, so this is just the tip of the iceberg. So, you know, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because I've got a lot of ideas that we can bring to this area. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters!